Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is the last day of the streams to promote the iStencils 2 years from now, and I think the coupon code is still good. So, in a nutshell, while I have people come in and join my live stream for chat, I will go over the sale details. This sale is to announce iStencils' latest new designer, which is Joan Smithies. So to promote her stencil, we're going to do a sale, and the code for the sale is JOAN25. This gives you 25% off the entire iStencils site, not just Joan Stencils and My Stencils. There's over 3,800 designs, so believe me, you can find what you want. Probably too much. But if you order $50 or more and you're in the US, you'll get free shipping. If you order $50 or more and you're anywhere in the world, we'll get this free stencil of mine. And if you order $75, no matter where you are, you'll get a $10 gift certificate toward a future purchase. This sale is good through tonight, September 16th, 2018 at midnight Eastern time. Now, you will find on the iStencils.com site, Joan Stencils will be listed under tab. They will be under the Patti Parrish tab, and you'll see her stencils designated on the bottom. They have the little name and number down the bottom. Hers will say Patti Parrish Stencils by Joan Smithies, I think is how they put it on there. And JS number 001, whatever. Joan gets all the proceeds from that. The commission from that goes straight to Joan. We're just putting her on my heading so they're easier for everybody to find instead of trying to dig through page after page of 3,800 designs. Also, I want to mention that there's been an issue with, pardon me, PayPal during this whole sale. So Sherry at iStencils wanted to make sure no one gets left out. It's a random problem. It's not happening consistently. So the developers at PayPal and the developers at iStencils are working together to figure it out. PayPal checkout will work for some and it won't work for others. And that's the problem and why it's taken so long to sort it out. If you have a credit card, you can order by credit card and check out fine. If you don't have a card or don't want to use your card and only want to use PayPal, email Sherry at this design. At this email address, mail@istencils.com by tonight at midnight Eastern, and send her a list of those you want, or copy and paste your shopping cart into an email. Let her know that you want to use the JOAN25 coupon code, and she will honor that sale and will send you an invoice and go a different route through PayPal to get you sorted. So you will not miss the sale. And Sherry is really sorry for the inconvenience, but it's completely out of the control of both PayPal and iStencils, apparently. So this is the email address that you'll want to email Sherry on to get your 25% if you can't use PayPal. So, hello, everybody. Sorry I missed saying hi to everybody on the way in. I wanted to get that out of the way right off the bat. So anybody rewatching this on YouTube at a later date or time, we'll know what's going on right up front. So I just have this to make it a pretty picture for the thumbnail. But here's some of the prints we did yesterday. This is 3 layers of stencils of mine that I did on this black paper. It's the iron gate and copper on the back, and then back in that blue-green, and pictographs in white on top of that. This was my, I think it's called Targets or Bullseye mask, where I lifted off watercolor that's on a piece of Yupo. This design in the background is the free stencil. This like 3-dimensional block situation there. That's the free stencil design, and pictographs over top of that. This is one of Joan's stencils, and I laid it on a piece of Terraskin paper, which is similar to Yupo. Sprayed it with alcohol, laid the stencil down, then dripped alcohol inks over the stencil and set it off to the side and let it dry. And when it dries, you lift the stencil off, and that's what you get. It's kind of a watercolory looking background where the alcohol on the paper kind of pulls it through and under the stencil, but clearly you see the design of the stencil through there. These are a couple that I've done years ago. I tried to find my poppy one, and I don't know where the hell I put it. But anyway, this is one with my border stencil that I did a number of years ago, just to show you how it looks. Some of this kind of looks like raku, and I collect raku, so I thought those colors were kind of cool the way they merged together. I just didn't do it in any rhyme or reason. But Eileen, I see your name on there. Hello. Hey, everybody. Thanks to the mods for coming on again with me today. Eileen suggested yesterday, instead of spraying alcohol on the Terra skin and then putting the stencil down, to use blending solution. And that would make sense and sound right. But Eileen, don't do it. I thought I was going to destroy the stencil or the paper pulling this off of here last night. Now, the result looks kind of cool. It looks different. See that shininess to the alcohol inks where they kind of pulled and dried? They didn't go under the stencil as much, and I can feel the acrylic paint. This isn't like watercolory alcohol ink here. I can feel texture where layers of paint peeled off the stencil. I mean, it was like it was glued to the Terra skin using the and I did use alcohol. If you remember, if you go back and look at the video, I put down blending solution first and tried to brush it. And by the time I went to put the stencil in it, it was dry. So I added another layer and it was dry. And I thought, that's too expensive to be squirting that much on there for one thing. So I sprayed the alcohol, but it didn't overcome the, so note to self, don't use blending solution to do that technique. Use alcohol. And here is the example from last time I did a stream. This was the free exclusive stencil last time, and this was with alcohol sprayed on the paper, lay down the stencil. This is on Terra skin also, and lay the stencil over it, let it dry, and then you get an image of the stencil and that kind of look. What else do I have here to show you? This is watercolor on Yupo, and I lifted it off with one of the badass stencils last time we were doing this several months ago. I just wanted to give you some ideas of what you can do. This is another one. And this one, it shifted on me, or it was too wet. You can see where these circles aren't crisp here. I didn't really do a good job on this one. However, oh, look at the rose gold. Hello, lover. You get the idea of what you can do. You don't just have to jelly plate or use the stencil one or two ways. There's all kind of ways to use them. This is one of my favorite prints. Colors of Ultra Metallic on the jelly plate. And then Xandra's idea of painting the little circles white so they kind of look like bubbles. That one's fabulous. And this is the mermaid print I tried to do, mixing copper and silver paint to kind of make them rose gold with some ultra metallics in the background. This was just a patina print we did yesterday. You guys seen that 100 times before. And let's see, do I have anything else up here? Not relevant enough to bother to show you. Okay, so what I wanted to do today, and I'm just going to show you this now so I can get it off my desk, and then we'll do this bit later. Somebody's going to have to remind me of that. So people say, what do you do with all these jelly prints? Well, I used to do them all stock, and I had literally a stack. It's still over on my shelf, about 1.5 feet, 2 feet high. And that's just the cardstock prints, because I used to be addicted to this, and I would print down here to 2 o'clock in the morning. Just, oh my God, look at that. Look at that. So I thought, what the hell am I going to do with all these things? So I started making note cards, and I got one of the, Xander, you'll know the name of the company that has the envelope board, memory makers, memory keepers, what the hell is it called? It's an envelope punch board, I think they call it. Anyway, this is what I used to do. I'll just pull a few of them out of here. This was a cleanup print where I did my borders. This is called Borders, my border stencil. I picked it up, and the print was in black, right? Of this design was in black on the print that I pulled. And this is what was left on the plate. So I picked that up. We are memory keepers. Thank you. Thank you, Z. We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board, and you can make all different sizes of envelopes. So I just cleaned the plate up with a piece of cardstock with the remaining black paint, but it makes a really cool little envelope. And then I would take a cut off of that piece and I put it on a note card and kind of make a matching little set of note cards, right? And some of these are double-sided, so the inside is printed with something too. This one, I didn't do it yet, but I usually put a real skinny double-sided piece of tape there. And then people say, well, how do you write an address on there? You put a label on it and write an address if that's what you want to do. Or if you just include it with a gift where they know who you are and who they are, you can write something on the note card, blah, blah, blah. So you can just see various ones that I've done, right, with various layers of stencils, and just fold them up and make a matching note card, right? That one's simple with just some stripes. And oh, they were arrows. I can see the arrows there, right? This is the Oh My stencil and the wave stencil over it. Just just anything, just fold them up. But what I want to show you now is how I did these, and I got them bundled up, but you can see on the front and the back, right? That's what I'm going to show you. Here's some more on craft paper, and here's some on black and white cards, right? So let me get this out of the way. Oops. And I'm not going to worry about putting the cards together and take up the time doing that, because I want to make this about JOAN stencils and the sale. I want to take advantage of the time we have. This is the last time I'm going to stream today. The sale ends tonight at midnight. So let's get to it. So I'm going to do, I'm going to use these round labels, and I'm going to jelly print on those. And I'll just make a couple sheets and show you how I finished them off. And then you can use your imagination from there, because you guys are pretty clever. Let's see. What do we want to do here? Let's just throw something on the plate. Let me use colors I haven't used yet. Let me use a pink. And let's use one of these metallics here, and maybe throw a little bit of this yellow in there, kind of make it kind of bright. So we got a little bit of shiny stuff and a little bit of opaque stuff in the middle. I don't know how that's going to come out, but we are all about to find out. Squeaky, oh great. I'll just kind of do an ombre a little bit here for no reason other than I can. Just get them all kind of mixed up. And let's see, what do I want to use down here? Oh, shoot, I was going to show you some of these stencils too. All right, let's just grab this one. Just for gigs. This one, what's this called? Oh, this is real early on when they didn't have the names in them. They just had numbers. And this is number 18. That must have been in my one of the first ones I made. So I'm going to print this on the round labels. Label side down, of course. CC. I appreciate everybody joining. I see there's 40 in chat right now, but 40 hellos, 39. I just said hi to CC. So 39 hellos, and each of you take one. This is a little bit thicker than using deli, of course, so I'm pushing a little bit harder to get it to go down there and kind of kiss that paint off the plate, right? And now we just have that, which isn't all that interesting. But wait, there's more. I'm going to clean out the holes. Oops, hello. Let me clean out the holes here. This is just a cleanup piece I was using the other day. This copper and silver mix on this golden paint really comes out a pretty rose gold. Let me see if I can show you now that it's really dry. I don't know if it's showing up just right for you guys on camera, but it's pretty nice. And now I'm just going to use a piece of deli and pick this up. I could pick it up on the other set of labels, but I want to make them different. Right, and that picked up some of the black and some of the other bits that were on the plate. And oops, I didn't clean this off, did I? Hello. Let's just do this. I'm just going to get the extra paint off the back of this. It's probably dry by now, but if any comes off, that'll be good. This one happens to be one of my old ones I just pulled out of the pile. CC, but Jones are all on the iStencils site. And actually, probably due to be in your mailbox soon. But I will show those in a moment. Excuse me. I was going through a bunch of mine. I haven't used my own any stencils for so long. When I go to do something like this, I get kind of like, oh, what do I do next? What do I do next? Now let's use something like that. All right, so let's do a turquoisey layer over that because I can, and it'll mix a little bit with. Oh, great! Right off the bat, I'm gooped up. I'm telling you, I'm a danger to myself. Let me grab the baby wipe. So also those of you who are international and are interested in buying these stencils, I can't tell you your exact shipping rate, but I know the ladies were talking about it yesterday, and I knew this from before, that it's really reasonable shipping internationally through iStencils. I don't know what they do different from anybody else. I know they don't try to turn a profit on their shipping, so maybe that's all the difference there is. A little excessive on the paint there, but oh, look, gold paint before. Oh, that was gold, silver, and copper. Oh, remember that one time, it's been a while ago, I kind of went crazy doing like one stream. I did all metallic prints. I guess this is dry enough to do this now. Let's just see what happens. I want to do enough layers on here so when I separate the little round label, it's like a work of art in its own. Just like when I do a collage that I cut up intentionally for ATCs, I make it really busy and I don't have a focal point on it. And a lot of people say they're wondering what the hell I'm doing because it looks kind of crazy. But then when you cut it up, the cray kind of goes away and it's kind of cool because it's each little piece separated. And this is just a cleanup print I'm using to get the paint out of the hole so I can pull another print and kind of get a clean reverse image. Oops, hello. This one's kind of seen better days. So you have to kind of follow my madness here. Let's take the reverse of this one and pick it up on this, just because it's here in front of me. And let's put a piece of deli down and do a sandwich. Clean off the back of that stencil. This one is called Stick Ball. Don't ask me why. Naming these is a pain in the ass. But it's kind of sticks and balls-ish. That's going to be a cool cleanup print when we do a cleanup. So now let's put, I want it to dry a little bit more. Normally I let that sit on the side and let it dry more, which I'm not doing right now. But I'm going to look for something that would be kind of a cool little pop of black. Let's just use this. This one's good. This one's called Morse Code. My dad was a radio man on a B-29 in World War II over the Pacific. And he had a ham radio set up in the house as we grew up. And he used to do phone patches, which were where he would use, and he'd communicate sometimes with Morse code on his little dot dot thing. And he could do it so fast, it was crazy. But anyway, that's why I was kind of in honor of my dad, the dots and the dashes. Oh, hello, here we go again. Well, it's paint tube, not the artist. Just want to reconfirm that. All right, let's just do this. And lay this down here. And these kind of holes are kind of small, so I'm going to have to push a little extra hard. I don't know that that's really dry enough, but we're going to do it anyway. You guys get the idea what I'm talking about, right? Please say yes. Yep, he flew on a B-29 called Upper Berth. And it was funny later when the movie Memphis Belle came out years ago now. It was supposed to be a realistic movie about B-17s over Europe in World War II. So I took my dad to see it, and he was really like moved by it and upset a couple times because he remembered how real it was. Although their planes, it was different. Their planes were pressurized, you know, and it was completely different. But he really liked it. Well, the story of Memphis Belle is they all got honorably discharged as heroes and some kind of special award. All right, there we go. So it's getting kind of busy. That's what I want. At the end of, after they flew 25 missions, they were all discharged from the Army as heroes and blah, 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 blah. And I knew my dad had flown 13 missions. And I said, Dad, why did you only fly 13 missions? He said, he was always really funny. He said, well, Shug, the war was over. And after that, they frowned on us taking the plane. Jesus. Didn't think about that little possibility of the war being over. But, yeah. That was my daddy. So one thing I like to do on these for the labels. Oh, he was hilarious, CC. He was very funny. Very dry sense of humor. And so now what I like to do with these is to add something else. Sometimes I'll splatter ink, but I don't want to have to sit and wait and let that dry. Actually, you know what? We can. But first, I'm going to take, whoops, a mason jar ring. And, well, where is it? Where is you? Oh, here it is. My goldens. I'm just going to put it on my jelly plate and use that as a palette. And spread it out a little bit. Kind of make it in a circle. Pushing it out in that edge so that I have the right kind of shape to put this in. And I'm just going to put these all over the place, right? And I have a video where I showed making these. I was in a video hop with Shannon Green a number of years ago where she wanted everybody to do like a 10-minute video, which was very difficult for me, as you may guess. How was Oakley's trainer? Good. Of course, he aced it while she was here. Actually, he's really good today. And that's eerie because I'm waiting for the storm to hit when he gets real ornery. But on the weekends, it's different because he's out of the crate with us all day, right? Where during the week, he's pent up and he has all that energy when we get home. And now it looks like way too much, but just work with me, people. Work with me. Okay, so now I'm going to sit this. Am I? No, I'm going to do something else. I'm just going to take a little bit of rose gold watercolor. I never put watercolor in these before. I don't know how long it's going to take to dry on the acrylic, and this might just be hosing me up, but we'll see. So I'm going to get some of this watered down in here and just kind of put some little, that's smaller drops. I want bigger drops. I'm going to make it wetter. Now remind me that I've set this off to the side to dry. I want more in there than you think, because there's some blank spots between this label that's not going to come off the label. I wonder if I did, just for giggles, I'm trying to find the seam on here. I'm just going to do this through one row and see what happens. All right, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so there we go. Oops. I gotta keep hitting the wire on my camera when I lift this up so high. All right, that's just watercolor over acrylic. That might be a boo-boo, but we're gonna go with it and see what happens. Somebody remind me in a little bit to check that out, because I can't be responsible for myself. My computer is buffering a lot, so going to work, hard to keep up. Jane, check your settings on the little gear at the bottom of your YouTube window. Check and see if you're on 1080p. And you might have to, if that's not working right, you might have to drop it down a little bit. And Jean, thank you. I saw the tweet last night, and I went in and I did that. I did that change. So I don't know how this is going to look, but since I've got gold on the plate, I'm just going to add more gold and do a cleanup, because there's a whole lot of stuff on this plate right now. So let's see. I never did a cleanup with metallic gold before, but how bad can that be? I think I'll do it on black. Maybe. Should I do it on black? Uh-oh, paint booger. Don't like a booger. Anywhere, actually. That's too much paint for a cleanup. I can hear Jean telling me that now. Oh, you know what? I'll just pick this up through something. Grab a random stencil. Let's use the exclusive freebie. When you spend $50, you get this one. So let's just, for gigs, let's pick that up on black. Yeah, if anybody wants that, my rose gold made to my recipe with creamer pigments, or kind of a higher end pigment, Zandra has an online store. It's called Paint and Paper Studio, and she was here with me and watched me make my rose gold, and I gave her a couple little tips in person, and she's reproducing that for me and selling it out of her store. So if you want any of that watercolor, you can go see Ms. Zandra. She will take care of you. Oh, hello, lover. Oh, see. Oh my goodness, as Oakley would say. Look at that rascal. And it picked up some of the black that was on the plate in these wider vertical lines. It looks very, see that? Oh, mama. That is awesome. I missed a little bit. Other than that, that babe boy is frameable. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Put that somewhere sacred. Pick that sucker up later. All right, let me just find another piece of deli to clean out the holes. And then the reverse of this ought to be pretty good too. Hey, April. April, see chat. I don't know if you needed to communicate with her anything about your her demo schedule or whatever. I did see Lindsay's. I can't believe how inexpensive those tubes of watercolor are. A Little Creative is April. She has an Etsy shop called A Little Creative, and she imports Polish watercolors. And Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, did a review the other day. She sent Cece a set to review, which I will in the near future. I don't know when that next what's going to be. And I can't believe how nice the paints are watching her video and how inexpensive they are. They're like $5.50 for a 15 mil tube. So check out the Etsy shop, A Little Creative. I think they're called RENESANS, I think. Half pans are $3.50. I can't even believe they can sell them for that, and everybody makes something off of that. That's just cleaning off the back of the. Now look how pretty my stencil is. Oh, I'm so easily entertained. Hello, lover. That looks cool too, but it's picking up even more because it's closer down. See the blue in there? Oh, mama like. Now I got all these little gold stripey bits on here. So the cleanup print. Well, April, I just saw where she said she may have priced them too low. You got to make sure you make money on them or it's not worth doing it. And that's so inexpensive. I think you could readjust the price after your initial sale and still be very competitive. I'm ripping off the crusty bits of paint that have built up on the edge of my brayer that keeps making it skip a beat. Okay, now let's get down. I was digging through my stencils today before I got set up, and I wanted to show you something with the masks. Now, Joan's, well, hers aren't really masks. They're just circle stencils, so that's different. But if you order either one of this type mask that I have, it's going to come with the Mylar attached to it around here. So it's got some substance to it. It's not fragile, and it's got the name and all that stuff on here to identify it. It comes like this. But what you do is you trim all that excess off. Let me put a piece of black behind there so you can see what I'm talking about. Right? It comes like that. So you trim all that excess off so that when you use it, you cut these little tips off here, all these little connector things that keep it all together. And then when you do, then it comes out. This is what you have to work with. Oops. Hello. They're tricky because they'll tangle with everything. So you got to be mindful of that. You have the drops here, the word art and the numbers, the hearts of feather, the poppy heads, and the little circles, right? And the little maze. But be mindful, if you're pulling a jelly print, you got to put this upside down because when the paper goes over it and you pull it off, if you don't, it's going to say TRA and not art. Just saying. And so I just wanted to bring that to your attention if you do choose any of those masks. That's hard to say, masks. There's another one, right? Looks like that, but that's really what it looks like. Oh, it's black on black. That's not good. There we go. You just trim all that extra stuff off of there. So I wanted to, God, I got masks everywhere. They really are tricky to store. I got to say that. They're really cool to use, and I use some of mine all the time. But Sandra, I want to do this one before I forget. Did you place an order yet, Sandra? I'm going to wait for her answer. So this is neither mine nor Joan's. This is a Badass stencil, which is one of the lines they carry on iStencils. And she makes some really cool stencils. And hers were made for the tattoo industry, right? Let me know if you ordered this one. If you didn't, I'll send it to you because I know you'll use it. But this one is like two stencils. These are her triple threat, she calls them. And this one's called Merfolk. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Try to get it tilted. There you go. It's tricky to show. Merfolk, number 7022. And they're called BATT, B-A-T-T, Badass Triple Threat. That's because there's 3 different stencils in here. But what you need to do with these is take a little fine pair of scissors, and they're on here by tiny little tabs of I mean, it's like a hair holding that together. But this Mylar is so strong, do not try to tear it because you could tear the stencil. So just take a fine pair of scissors and go in here and nip off. And that's the same with my mask that I was just showing you. These aren't necessarily masks, they're stencils, but they're put together because it's 3 in 1 in different shapes. So that's how they were created, like that. So you just cut that off, right? And then you got yourself some mermaid scales. And these are, I forget what she calls these separately. There's BAMs, B-A-Ms. I forget what that means. Badass something. And then some of them are kind of like ATC size. And these little bits, they look like you can just pop it out of there. Don't do it. And it's kind of a pain doing it at first, right? But it's necessary. And once you do it, then you're good. Let's see, I thought I had that one, but I don't. Not looking at the chat right now. So if you got something for me, hang on to it. I'll get to you as soon as I can. CC, I'm assuming there's all good news with the patient since you're on stream. That's excellent. Xander, I'll even send you this bit because I don't know if you can use that for fish somehow. Okay, so I'm not going to print with these. These are kind of small, but you get the idea. They're just smaller versions of this, right? Put that in that pile. And these, of course, are smaller than my 8x10 jelly plate. That doesn't mean you can't use them on a jelly plate. So you can use them a couple different ways when it's something like that. You can, I'll just use some of this golden, this little bit of the teal. And I'll use a little bit of this Snapdragon. Wow, you got your order yesterday. And Safia is in, where are you, Safia? Are you in the Middle East? If you're, oh, good deal. Good deal, CC. Okay. So I'm going to mix these up. And I'm only going to cover part of the plate. Because it's no sense. I waste enough paint, let alone wasting paint that's going to be all the way down the plate. So I'm going to go down to here. I'm telling you, I'd like to have all the paint back that I've wasted in my lifetime. And let's put this bad boy down. It must be 8 inches wide because it fits exactly on there that way. Oh, in the UK. Okay. How cute. You're going to love this one, see? Ah. And I'm going to pick this up on blue, on black. And I'm going to clean this off. I'm going to put this one down here in case it turns out really good. You can use both sides of it. I'm going to send you these prints Tuesday when I got an envelope coming to you anyway. It keeps getting delayed because there's something else I'm waiting for, or something else is drying, or so I'll get it there eventually. Yeah, it's going to be pretty when it comes to you. Oh, look at this. Look how that cleaned up. Look at that little strip right there with the gold in it. Ha! And that's just pulling it off, but now it's laced with all that gold. See it in there? Groovy. All right, let me move these so I don't forget about it, because those of you who know me know that's more than likely that could happen and will. All right. Now, here's another badass one I'm going to try eventually. This is another triple threat. I just thought that one was really pretty. This one I think would be cool to to trace this and then watercolor in it. Just like a wet on wet watercolor and let the colors run through there. I like it. So I have a couple of Joans that aren't all painted up, and I don't like that. I want to get them all dirty. So let's move into doing a few prints of Joans. Let's use some green gold. Look, I'm trying not to use a lot, especially the goldens. I do. Okay. Nice thin layer. And this is a translucent color. So my idea here, Jean and Eileen, you're welcome. My idea here is to put a couple layers down of another translucent color. And this one is Joan's, called Tribal Geometric. It's her number 13, JS13. This one's really cool. Mama liked that one. So I'm going to pull this on Deli, because if it comes out as stunning in the end as I have in my head, I will use it on a collage at some point in my future life. And then some of you may see it on an ATC through my Etsy orders. I got a restock of some of my stamps coming in. I sold out of a few different ones again. Thank you very much if you're online and you ordered. Joan, I bet your mind is running wild with all these new designs that you'll have all the time freed up from you actually making the stencils at home. And you can just design your little brains out. Hey, Carol. Yummy. That's okay. Now let me pick up, clean out those holes. Oh, I wonder. Oh, no, never mind. Stop wondering, Patti. That's how you get yourself in trouble. Yeah, it's a really cool green. It's Golden's green gold, and it's very transparent. So I'm almost tempted to roll paint over that. But let's see. Let me talk this out in my little pea brain. If I do it with wait, for the green lovers, let me go in with this. Let's just, for shits and gigs, as we say. Your mind's always busy, Joan. Paul, God bless you. I don't know how you sleep at night, especially when she's on my streams when I start at 9 a.m. and it's 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning there. I'm just going to put this on top of the stencil. This is an ultra metallic by Color Art called Kiwi. These are fabuloso shiny paints. So, oh, hell. I should have to put a quarter in the jar every time I say a boo-boo word. Okay. That's yummy. All right, now I'm going to have to put this on a cleanup to get, I'm going to have to make a clean, oh, look, I have to make a cleanup sandwich here. Yeah, some of them are even shinier, Safia, like the true metal ones. The silver, when it dries, looks like chrome. I kid you not. Hang on. Come on, work with me. Keep your mind going, Patti. Let's see what we got here. Oh, cool, Cynthia. Thank you. Did you hear all the details about the sale? They're at the very front of this video. If you rewatch it, I will show them again here in a minute. I know people are coming in and out all the time. I want to make sure everybody knows the last day of the sale is tonight at midnight Eastern. So basically 9 hours from now. 9 hours and a little bit. If you have trouble, Xander, can you? There you go. Thank you. Xander corrected that. Anybody watching on YouTube, watch for it's JOAN, JOAN25. Is the coupon code, and that will get you. Well, I should have gone with a more contrasting color, but you can still see it's very tone on tone. And as this dries, you'll see more of the shimmer. But it's very shiny. See, again, not what was in my head. Oops, get out of there. Let's do something not that busy. This one. Let's do this one. This one's called of Rings. Oh, look, they're diamond rings. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so if anyone has any trouble checking out of PayPal on the iStencils site, email Sherry. Hang on, I got a little cheat sheet here. At this email address, mail@istencils.com. Email, either copy and paste your shopping cart into an email, or make her a list of, JS001, JS017, whatever. The list of the stencils that you want. Reference the coupon code JOAN25. And Sherry will take care of that by sending you a PayPal invoice early next week. You will still get the benefits of the sale, even though it's expired and past that. There's a known issue with PayPal. The developers on both sides have been working on it. It's so random. It's very difficult for them to sort, apparently. But with this coupon code JOAN25, you get 25% off the entire iStencils site. Not just her stencils, not just mine, 3,800 stencils or more. If you spend $50, you get this free stencil that I demoed earlier with the black paper and the gold design. Right, this one. You get this as a free stencil when you spend $50. If you're in the US and you spend $50, you get free shipping. That's a constant on their site, by the way. That's not just for this special. That's always free shipping. And if you spend $75, you get a $10 gift certificate toward a future purchase. So just email Sherry at that email address if you have any issues. You can check out with a credit card, fine. You can, some people are getting through PayPal and some aren't. And that's the complicated part that is costing the developers on both sides a little sanity check over the weekend. Because it's not constant. It's not a constant thing. It happens for some and doesn't happen for others. But you will get the sale. Don't worry about that. That will happen. So what do I want to do with you? I need to get some other paints. We need to mix up a bit. Oh. I don't know. Let's just grab a couple. I have a pink. I don't have hot pink. Let's do something like that. Let's get a different green out here. Light blue. Let's just do this. Let's just add these to my massive pile that's already out here. Oops, falling down. Let's put this blue. Oop. This is a regular PBO. It's the dark ultramarine blue. This is not a PBO with the color shift in it. This is just a regular acrylic. Let's do this. This is a master's touch called Viridi. Kind of like Viridian, I guess, but it's a V-R-I-D-I. V-I-R-I-D-I. I think I do, though, Joan. I think I have a ridiculous number of paints. The problem is I'm all about watercolor now, and my acrylics are just sitting there collecting dust, which is not good. So I'm twisting how I had in my head. I'm going to set, now you can start to see how much shinier that is. You get like a silvery flash in that on camera. It's more of a greenish here. Let's just stack this one on top of this for gigs. Bad buffering today? Oh, Lord. I wonder what that... Jean, I did what you suggested I do on the back end of YouTube last night, which you tweeted me. Try refreshing, you guys, and see if that works. And click the little live down at the bottom left of your window that you're watching on and make sure you're caught up to what I'm doing live. And check your settings. Click on the gear. And if you're at 1080, go down to 780 and see what that does. Hey, Nancy. See, now that's just sticking out through that. It left the ring still green and sticking the blue through there a little bit. Let me pick this up. No, let me pick this up on here. And just, let me pick this up. No, let me pick this up on here. I'm just cleaning out the holes now on the stencil so I can get a crisper image with what's left under the stencil. If anybody wants to see a certain design, let me know. Oh, that's kind of cool how that all kind of wrinkled and puckered underneath of there. Kind of a cool backgroundy look. Let me know. And I will be happy to show you how one prints, or if you want to see something else done with it, let me know. And if we want to see some molding paste, drug through it, use a cameo gem for your first one. Just another backgroundy kind of thing. Just picking up the extra paint. Oh, I forgot to do this. Let's do this. And then we clean off the back of the stencil. This is as much as I clean my stencil. All mine are very colorful. Oh, really, Kathy? I wonder what the heck's going on. Is there something? Is it football day and a lot of bandwidth being sucked up somehow? Who the hell knows? I do not know. I really like this one. We did something with it. Oh, Cece, what we did with this was we took, and I saw Shannon Green do this. We took, you weren't here when I did this. I think it was the first day. I took watercolor on a makeup sponge and pounced it through the stencil. That's just watercolor and a makeup sponge, kind of dry, wet. And then here I watercolored, lifted it off with a magic eraser through the stencil, and then I took a metallic gel pen and went in and traced around the stencil just to get a little shiny. Come on, focus for mama. Come on. You can do it. Or maybe you can't. I don't know. Come on. Well, you can kind of see it. It's not going to focus. And my old arms are getting tired from trying to hold it up there. All right. So let's see here. Let's do. Where is my silver? That's what I'm going to do. So this is a Silver Ultra. This is the one that I told you looks like chrome when it dries. It's so silver. There's a little swatch of it on the label. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, what that really looks like when it hits the light. It's almost too shiny to show you. And I see a little lag now in my camera, Jean. So what Leslie from Color Army, she called me the other day and was telling me about her new resin art stuff with her pigments in it. Oh, you should check out some of her videos, color art videos, Leslie Onstad. Stunning. But she told me with these, I told her that I tried to use the cashmere. It's a true metal. If their labels say true metal on them, it's a metal pigment that's in there. But because the pigment's so heavy, it settles down at the bottom of the jar. And you can shake them, but you will be shaking a long time to get them just right again. She said to take the cap off. Oops, hello. Throw it across the room. Take a skewer, and kind of stir the pigment off the bottom because it's so heavy because it is metal. So you want to be careful for these. You don't want to lick your fingers when you're using them and do all that stuff. Hopefully you guys know that. This one's almost empty too. I thought I had a backup one. I do. One must never be without a backup of this one. If you like shiny stuff anyway. They are not cheap, but she runs, they're really high quality and the pigments are really nice, but she runs sales quite often. She's actually got a good sale going on now for the resin art stuff. Yeah, always a good tip, Shauna. Oh. Now let's try this one. This one is down to its last bits. If this doesn't work, I'll go break out my new bottle. The cap is different on the new ones, although I really like this cap. It does dry over with paint boogers, and she didn't like that, so she was trying to make it more user-friendly, and I think they now have these flip caps on them. So let's see if I can get enough out of here. Hey, Norma. Oh, you had to open it first. Hello. All right, let's see if this mixed up well enough. I'm going to leave that on its side in case I want to use it again. Hello, lover. I don't know if you guys can tell that on the plate before it's dry, how yummy that is. Look at that. That's pretty yummy. Look how pretty my brayer is. Hey, Mary. So let's do some circles of Jones. Bubble circles, this one's called. You can't go wrong with silver and circles. Oh, look at you. I'm going to do that one on black. Okay. It's awesome paint. The true metals are really spectacular. I'm trying to remember what I used that on. Was it on a canvas? I used it on something that just pow right in your face. That's kind of pow right in your face. I don't know if that looks more white to you, but it is silvery goodness. I love the stencil. Yum, 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 yum. Let me try to clean out the holes. These tend to dry a little faster. Now this I can see where it picked up some of the blue and different stuff that was on the plate. You can just see a little bit of the flash on there, maybe. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of lag where this is kind of hard to show now because it's kind of moving. I'm going to pull black out for this one again. And I'm going to pick it up on both sides. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. Clear watercolor ground on top. And add, oh, over top of this. Ooh, that's a good idea, Tamara. I don't know if I have clear. That even looks more silvery there. And I think the less of the, this one's got a lot of the cleanup in it. You can see. See around the edges how much of the blue's in there in different colors. You still can't hate that, people. But that's just what was under the plate. Just cleaning that off. That's not as quite as stunning as that is. Let's put you over in the sacred pile. Now, look at this. Look at these shiny bits left on my plate. So let's take, let me stir up the cashmere. Oh yeah, I can really feel where that's, you can even see where that's like clumped down the bottom. It's just so heavy it drops through the medium. But to get that shine, you might need a little extra elbow grease. And this was the first one I ever got. So this is a number of years older as of now. This is a newer one. The bottle's softer too, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe because it's more full, it feels different. I think I have another backup of this one because this one's kind of low. Dang it, isn't so. This is the Autumn Flame Metal. And there's one called Dragon. That's solar gold. That's not a true metal. Oh, yeah, here I have another bottle of cashmere that's full. Oh, and yet another bottle of silver. I must have backed up on the silver. Make sure I had enough. So let's see. This cashmere. Actually, Leslie told me when she saw me mixing, before I did the rose gold watercolor, she saw me mixing the golden fluid acrylics, silver and copper, and getting kind of that rose gold color. And that was her inspiration to make this one she calls cashmere. And this one's almost empty. And that one's, it's hard because that one's so empty. I don't have a lot to stir. Let me try this other one. This one's, I don't know if the full one might even be trickier because it's all down the bottom and I have to mix it through. Not sure. Now, all of these paints aren't like this where you have to, if they've sat for a long time, if you use them regularly, you're not going to have this problem. But mine have sat in there for quite some time. And it will separate because the pigment is metal and it's heavier than the medium and it will fall through the bottom. But the other colors, as you've seen me use the greens and the blues and all that pinks and purples, they now actually this one's going to take longer, so I'm not going to do this on stream and take up that time of watching me stir. But I'm coming back to you, little lover. You can believe that. And let's see how I'm doing with this one. Oh, that's getting better. My hand, this is my hand where my fingers are still numb underneath my fingers from when I had that pinched nerve last year. So this hand tires more easily. All right, let's go with that. It's either going to work or it's not for right now, but we shall see. So, what's this one? This one's metal dragon gold. Do I want to do 3? Let's see. This one's pretty mixed, actually. Just going to give it a little zhuzh. That's pretty good. All right. I'm going to try, what I'm trying to get at is a metallic ombre. That's where my head is. That's why I'm going through these paces here. And now I just have to think of which stencil is going to get that. Let's try this one. This has a lot of open space. Let's try this one here. This one is Joan's called Tribal Squares. All right, let's see what happens. That's all we can do is try. There's a silver. This is the cashmere. Now it's loosened up and I can shake it. We'll feel the difference or hear the difference. Yep. Don't take that off. Take this one off. Booger. That's probably my favorite one of these, the colors, the silver and the cashmere. Yummy. And this one is called Metal Dragon Gold. These two, I never really paid attention until she told me that, but they do get a booger. All right, let's see what happens here. How bad can this be? Seriously. Look at my prayer. I don't know why that entertains me. Okay, so here we got the ultra metallic true metal silver here, right? And then I'm going to go to cashmere, and that's like a rosy gold. Look at you. Oh my God, I forgot how much I like this color. And now let's go down to this like a dark antique yellowy gold. This is the dragon gold. All right. All right, let's see what we get. That got a little thin down here, but I'm going to go with it. Let's go on black. What time is it? 3:10. I'm going to jump off of here at 4. We got a lot of stuff to get done today. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's different with my lights down here. Turn that one on. Will that help? Yeah, you can see it under there. That adds a little shimmer. I want you to see that cashmere color if you can. It's kind of blended over with the other two, but it was in the center section. See a little bit of that rosiness to it. It's hard to show. on camera because they get so. Oh, Tamara, he did good, of course, because the trainer was here. He was a handful as she walked in the door, though. I will tell you that. He was out of control. But she knows exactly what to do and how to handle them and how not to engage with them when you come in and they go crazy, want to jump and just go nuts. The best thing to do is to ignore, even turn your back on them. But you don't engage them. You step away and don't engage. Of course, I had him on a leash. And then when she would approach him, step by step, that he kept all 4 feet on the ground, I would click the clicker and treat him. And then he eventually came around to our way of thinking. And then we took him, we took him outside and worked on come. And he did really well outside doing that, when usually he just lays in the middle of the yard and kind of gives us the finger because he's not ready. Don't feel like it. Not going to listen. So we got a couple tips from the trainer, and we have another one coming over Friday. Now look how magical the stencil is. You guys can't probably see that, but it's shiny. And that's just the cleanup from off the plate, of course. All right. So there's the positive and the negative. You can't hate it. You can't. I don't care what you say. So I want to do a cleanup. I got even more metallic bits. See the shadows on there? There's more on there than you think. I think I'm going to put down. What did you have on a leash? A lion? You would think so, Jane. My 7-month-old yellow lab puppy, Oakley. Yeah. Oh, Lordy. That boy. Oh, you know what? This one will be cool. This one will be cool with that. Hang on, Patti. Can you do some modeling paste? I can. Do you want just plain modeling paste? Do you want it colored? You want to put some shiny pigments in it? Do you care? Patti, did you do the palette one? My palette one from with the like the painter's palette? Is that the one you mean, Z? Thanks, Kathy. If you want to buy any, and I'm not pushing you to buy any, but don't miss the sale, which ends midnight tonight Eastern. Oh, you mean Donaldson's palette? Yeah, and I did try to jelly print it, and because the lines are so fine, it came out a little sketchy. But when I pounce paint through it, it worked. But we were talking about how she's only got 11 pans across instead of 12. Now 11 is my number, my lucky favorite number. I say that. I never have luck, but I say that because April 11th is my birthday. So I don't know why I say that, but I say it. This time I'm going to take the cashmere and just mix it with some of the silver. And let's see what we get through here. Oops, forgot what I was talking about. Sharon. Oh, I'll do the modeling paste. I'll do that for you for sure. This I just had in my head, and if I don't do it while it's in my head, it ain't ever going to happen. This one is called Junction for 10. This is Jones. Actually, I have some gold sitting right here that will do. I got to put it in my face so I remember it. Yeah, email Sherry at mail@istencils.com. Oh, you're on the 22nd? Yep, I'm on the 11th. April. Oh, there you go. April's on the 9th of April. Hey, I lucked out. I don't like my name, Patricia Lynn. I was never wild about my name. However, when I found out that my mother was going to name me Angel Lucinda, I thought, I'll go with Patti. That's good. Angel Lucinda. Not to say anything about either one of those names. Angel's not a fitting name for me. It's just not. Oh, look at you. Oh my goodness. I love the stencil, Joan. This is one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Yeah, go underneath of this one. Hey, Asher. And pick these bits up. And then we'll do something with modeling paste. Oh, hey, Tam. Hey, Paula. Ew. You know what? I like this when it's just a little bit of paint on the back, cleaning that up, because it looks, I don't know, it looks more glittery, like, I don't know. It's just either way. Oh, I didn't clean up the holes. See what happens when you don't clean up the holes? You get all these blobs and interfering with the design of the stencil. But still can't hate it. So now I got a lot of silver on here. So before I do the paste, actually I don't want to do the paste on the jelly plate anyway. So let me just set this aside and let that, it'll give it a chance to dry a little bit more. And I'll grab a piece of, I'll use black again since this is gold. Is there a certain stencil you wanted to see this through, Sharon? Joan sent me this. I don't think you can get it in the US. It's called Pent Art. She got it at one of the craft shows she goes to in the UK every year. Hello. Well, believe it or not, that says Pent Art. P-E-N-T-A-R-T. Closer? I'm almost touching the camera. All right. Again with the arms. So we're just going to, let me see, did Sharon answer me? Okay, I don't see her coming back in chat right away, so I'm going to go ahead and just pick a winner. I think they're all winners. Oh, you know what? That's what I can do with this one. I wanted a jelly print on, and this will be good because it's smaller than the jelly plate and all that kind of stuff. So I will just use this one to demo this. I like this little swirl number up here. I like this little bit. Okay, just going to take some of this stencil paste. And they actually call this stencil paste, not molding paste. I think this one's going to be really pretty. Oh, shit. I went under and schmutzed it. And then I said shit. Oh, you know, what are you going to do? I'm going to have to take this stencil over and rinse it because I don't want it. I'm just going to do the whole thing because I think it's going to be a stunner. And I can use this little bits Oh yeah, it's just the same for anything you use it for. Just take a palette knife and just scrape it over the stencil, trying to keep the stencil in one place. And so you get a crisp print or impression or result or whatever you want to call it. And then you can scrape off the excess, can't speak today, back into the jar while it's still wet, and you can reuse that. And Viola, you got yourself a... Oh, hello, lover. Look at you. That's a cool design. I like that stencil. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute, and I'm going to have to chat amongst yourselves. If you're rewatching the recording, skip ahead a minute or two. I got to go rinse this off in the sink. Otherwise, it's going to be poignant. Nothing but the dust. All right. You probably can't tell on camera, but I'm going to show you this little cleanup piece I've been... Hey, Glenda. That's just a couple different layers of the ultra metallics that have been going on here. The paper's actually got some weight to it now, but you can kind of see how shiny they are. Let me put that one in a safe place for CB. She likes my leftovers from brayering off because I use a lot of shiny pigments. Oops, didn't. Oh, crap. Wipe my knife off. And there you go. Hey, Joyce. So let me put this in a safe place. I'm going to go back to this. Let's see if this is dry now. This one that I printed on labels. These are round labels. And I overdid it with layers because I'm going to pull them off and putting them on something. Let's see. Do I have any cards laying here handy like? No. I wonder where the hell I put those. I'm telling you, I should make myself a map whenever I clean up and reorganize. Because it's just not there when I go back for it sometimes. Especially the stuff I don't use a lot. I put it further and further away from my reach. Ah, crap. All right, well, I don't have any blank cards. We'll just stick them on a piece of black paper, just for argument's sake. So let me grab a couple of the cards I'm talking about for those who have no idea what I am talking about, which is usually the majority most of the time. Been known to ramble, not going to lie. I was telling everybody, since we're making all these jelly prints, I used to always make them on cardstock. I tend to go to deli now so I can incorporate them into collages that I cut down and use for ATCs. And I have this rambling of cards that I take a cardstock jelly and I use the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board and make an envelope out of the jelly print. Put a little double stick tape on this edge. And then if you wanted to mail it, you could put a label over this. But and then make a matching, oh, I got my fingerprints on it. Great. Matching little note card, right? So make a little bunch of little sets like that. And, you know, all different jelly prints. Some of them have multiple layers, like this one has 3 different jelly prints on it. And I just take the edge of the paper and make a little note card, right? So I do this. Then I bought some craft cards ready-made at Michael's, and I printed them around labels and just stuck them on there. That one's not so wild, but I have other ones that I've done that I like. Oh, this one's coming apart. Okay, well, since it's coming apart, we'll just look at these. And these are just like this sheet, jelly printed, multiple layers, and just stuck on the flap of the envelope in the middle of the note card. Right, that's a patina print that I did. What's this one? Oh, I like this one. This one was a cleanup print of the stripes and then pictographs in PBO and then the gold circles on it. All right, so you can just, I really like this set. This is a, I don't think they make these anymore. It's a white card with a black border and a black envelope, and they really popped on that. And then I just twine a couple of them, few of them together, and used to give them as little girlfriend gifts or whatever. But anyway, so that's why I did this, to show you what else you can do with your jelly prints. So, get that out of harm's way. And since I can't find my ready-made cards, we're just going to pull these labels off and stick them on a piece of paper. And you can use your imagination what they look like on a card. How about that? That envelope punch board is a really fun little tool. Now this I used, you can see the pink and orange design. That was 1 layer of stencils, that kind of diamond or chevron shape with a dot in the middle. Then the blue is the, what's it called? Sticks and balls stencil. And then the black is the Morse code stencil. And then I took a mason jar ring, dipped it in gold paint, and popped the circles. And then I splatted some of my rose gold watercolor on it. I didn't know how that was going to work with the acrylic, but it seems to be there. So anyway, it looks like a big mishmash mess. Trying to look for the seam or where the circle is. And then I took my rose gold and a brush and I just squiggled down the whole row there. See there's that squiggle line? That's rose gold watercolor. Now let me find the seam to these. Here's one, right? And you take it off. And when you put that somewhere, you know, it looks really cool on its own. You know, when you get it away from all this crazy, it's not a bad thing. So let's just pull this row off to show you what these separately look like. Right? They're all different, but they're the same. How's that for confusion? But see, this one I wasn't paying attention because I was rushing, but there's a lot of white space in there. But look how that one ring ended up right on the edge of that. It's very random, but I do like that swatch of the rose gold through there on the watercolor. I never had done the watercolor over them, and it's not coming off. But anyway, yeah, exactly, Safia. That's how I make my, when I do my ATCs for my Etsy shop, I make a collage, but I make it way busier and without a focal point, knowing that I'm going to cut it all up. But when you separate it, they really look cool. I don't care what you say. So I'm not going to cut up, I'm not going to stick anymore because I'll use those for something. Sometime. Those up out of harm's way. What time? At 3:30. Okay, I got a half an hour. Let's make it rain, people. What do you want to see? Yeah, the black really makes them pop. And I like to put a pop of black on all my final prints that I do. I usually go back and then layer. Let's do that. Let's go back. Let's go back into time. These are all the cleanup stuff. Where's a decent one that I want to, hang on. That's just a cleanup. But oh, here's the Here's the palette one, Sandra. Here's where it jelly printed. And I did it on deli so I could get the I could get down in those holes. And it wasn't very crisp. Sometimes it was thicker than others. But I pounced paint through it, other than my black fingerprint there. That came out pretty cool. But I knew when I looked at this, I thought something doesn't feel right. And then I realized that in a palette in the center line, you don't go through the middle of a pan because there's an even number. And then I counted and there are 11 because I was thinking about using this as a swatch, you know, paper to put inside my palettes. But there's only 11 pans across, so I don't understand that. But there's a lot I don't understand and I don't need to. I just don't need to. So here's a couple that I did layers on yesterday. This was just a cleanup, and it had a PBO, or was that African Jade? I think that was the that was a cleanup print, and you can see the iron gate and the rose gold underneath of there. See that? And it picked up a lot of the black in with the shiny ultra metallics there. I think that's African Jade and teal zircon. And then my Outback stencil is the white rings and spears, you see, and then just a ghost of the pictographs over that. But it makes it a lot more interesting. If you pull off a little piece of this, you can see a lot more of the rose gold down here. Again, if you tear a little piece of this off, it looks, even when you don't see the whole design, it looks interesting. Here were some layers, but this was a ghost. That was a layer of ghosts. We did my mermaid tails and jeans, zigs and something. I forget what that one's called. Sorry. This was a print gone bad, but I added the pop of black over it. It kind of makes it, right? It kind of makes it something that is usable. But look at that flash in those colors. And even though if you really look at it, it's like, what the hell is that? That's not pretty. But it's kind of pretty when you know. That is to me. What the hell do I know? So here's another mermaid tail with stripes over it, with the zigs over it. And then I put the Nemo stencil in orange over it for like the little fish. But with all that going on, you can't really, the fish don't really stand out. But, you know, again, tearing it up and using it. That was just a cleanup on black. That's that zig stencil again. Here's the poppies with stripes running through them. I'm trying to look for one that I can do another layer on. A lot of these over here were just the cleanups. Let's do another layer on that. And maybe on that. And this was a cleanup. I did like a 50 Shades of Gray, a black and white on that one. I end up with a lot of jelly prints when I do these streams. All right. That one's pretty cool looking. Let me think about what to put over that would make that cooler. All right. Let's take some of these single layered prints. And these are all cleanups. What are these? Oh, look at you. Oh, you yummy thing, you. Okay, let's start with some of these. This one will be easy to do. Reading the chat. Paula's saying something about her channel and I missed it. Are you going to be streaming more, Paula? Hopefully. So let me pick out one of Joan's to go over hers. Let's do this one. I think this would be a good contrast. This is that zig one again. And this one in purple is the Bits and Bobs. And I'm going to use Jones over Jones because they're the same size. Where mine are, see, mine are 8x10, Jones are A4 size. So it won't cover the whole thing. See how much wider this one is? Doesn't matter. You could and just use part of it, but. Paula, did you see my DM on Twitter to you? I sent it several days ago and I never heard back from you, so I wasn't sure if you saw it. I thought you were on Twitter pretty often, but I'm never on there, so I have no idea what's going on. Hey, Kathy. See, that's a new name. Welcome. Okay, so I'm going to do another layer over this. This was done with 2 ultra metallic colors, and now that they're dry, you can, I don't know if I catch the light right. You'll see the shimmer. I don't know what's happening with my light down here. I can't seem to catch the shimmer a lot. There you go. You can kind of see it down there. So now I got to decide. Here I get the stencil Patti used with the gold on black. That is, that's the freebie when you spend $50, Glenda. That's the free exclusive stencil for $50 purchase or more. This one. Somebody else asked me that, but they couldn't find. And I tried to reply to her on YouTube, and her comment wasn't. It was in my notifications feed, but when I clicked on it and went to the video, it wasn't there. So I couldn't really answer her. So if you're listening, I think your name was Shayna. You won't find this one on the iStencils site. This is an exclusive for this sale. So that's why you can't find it. This is not, if you guys are talking about this, this is not a badass stencil. This is one of mine. You must be talking about something else. You talking about the mermaid tail one? Or mermaid scales, rather? Yeah, I love this one. This one is so cool when it prints. That's just the cleanup. Here it is. This is the print that I pulled with it. It's very 3D. Cece, I can see you stacking buildings on there. Oh, Eden, is that the one I used? Is that this one? Oh, yeah, sorry. That's Eden. Bat 7006 is the number. That's the one that I did this with. Very tropical foliage looking kind of deal. And these are called they're badass triple threat because this is a stencil that you cut out, and this is a stencil that you cut out, and then this third one. So it's triple threat. You get 3 in different shapes, different sizes of the same design. And if you didn't see that, you can watch this video back and see it earlier in the video where I cut the one apart and demoed the one that was the mermaid scales called Merfolk. Okay, so I was looking at this for Jones. So I don't want to cover up everything in the background, but I want to cover up. Oh, here, I pulled this one. This is what it's going to do. I think this will let enough of this show through. And you can kind of test them by holding it up if you're not used to doing that and seeing what those holes, whatever's through those holes of the stencil is going to be covered up when I do this. All right. So let's see. What color do we want to do with that? I don't know. You know where my head's going. Oh, Kathy, that's a badass stencil called Eden, and it's number 7006, I believe. 7006. That's Eden. All right, let's get moving because I'm running out of time. I like teal with purple. I don't care what anybody says. Let's do a PBO green blue. Let's mix these two together. Green, of course. Eileen, you guys are as bad with green as I am with the teal stuff. I'm just going to go back and forth with this and see what we get. It's not going to be an ombre because I mixed them. Again, with the too much paint. When will you learn? I think the answer is never. Never going to happen. That's what I'm counting on. So I put this one down, lay this one over top. I'm trying to line up the purple within that stencil below it. All right, let's see. Now I'm going to go schmutz this through. So I try to get a good clean print of the turquoise. All right. Let's see what that does. So, I'm alike. Now we're going to go back and put a little pop of black on that. Oh, it's my fault. I see. I see how this is working. Do I have a cleanup sheet that's... Hang on. Yeah. I'm going to see if there was one where this would actually show up. It's not. I'm going to grab a new piece of deli. Schmutz is very technical. Very technical. Just cleaning out the holes of the stencil so that when I pull the stencil off and try to pick that up, and see there was like a whole nother print in there. Because why? Because Patti uses too much paint. That's why. Actually, there's even a little more in there I can get out. That's how thick those PBOs are. They're a high viscosity or something they're called on the label. All right, now I'm gonna pick this up on black and do a little sandwich because all that shimmery stuff's gonna end up on here. What time is it? 1:15. Anybody else want to see anything? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm going radio silent after 4 o'clock today. I've streamed 4 days in a row trying to share these with you guys, and I'll go over the details of the sale here again in a minute. Oh, look at all that silver that picked up there on the bottom. All that bright shimmery blue. And there's still a lot on the plate. Put that over there. It's kind of wet. Smurf. This is probably not dry enough to do another layer, but we shall. You know what I'm going to do over this, even though it's not going to line up, I think. In my head, this will look cool. So we shall see. Again, no promises because you know. Oh, maybe I'll use this instead. See, as I'm thinking it through, I was going to put pictographs over that in a PBO. So that, oh shit. Uh-oh. A little craft lunch happening over here. And a tangle of stencils and prints. Great. What the hell? we're going to roll with that. I'm going to use the Ultra Teal Zircon. Little schmutz of that. And watch me. I'm trying to be light on the paint. A little African Jade, which is one of my faves. I use the primary element pigment of African Jade. I use that a lot. Blue green. I went green blue. And this one's a PBO. And you'll see the difference, how liquidy these are and how snotty thick this one is. So I'm going to just put a couple mashes through there. Kind of help with the blending process. But watch how puckery. See how thick that is? The PBO. It's holding its own peaks. But they will mix up eventually. And it's only going to be a little bit of this that shows through the pictographs because they're not that huge a design. So I'm going to put this down. And now I'm going to use this one, which is Fabuloso. Patti, you'll give me a lot of new idea. Oh, good, Sharon. Good. That makes me happy. I appreciate that. All right. Let's see what we get here. And then I'm thinking a little teeny fine pop of black over this. I used to always do 3 and 4 layers on them. All right. Oh, mama likey. You can see where that hit the black. Let me see if I can show you a close up. Look over here at this anchor on the end. And look at the difference of where the paint black, see it looking green, and where it hit the silver and gold, it looks more blue. Down here, you can see a good example when it's on the paint and off just on the black paper. Oops. Hello. See that color shift? Mama likey. All right. Let's clean out the holes of this. Oh, I wonder if I could do a reverse patina print. I really need to clean out the holes for that. Okay. So I'm gonna get a new tube of black because my black was not cooperating very well. This is just a cheap black paint. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on deli. So I'm gonna pick this up. Oh, you know what? It's not going to work. This is too dry. That's too dry. That's not going to work. Dang it. Well, we'll just make it something else fabulous. Drats. You know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Oops. Hello. Oh, that's liquidy. That's so black paint in the tube. I don't know what's going on there, but that seems very thick. And this might end up just kind of like a cleanup print, which is fine. Got a lot of stuff going on here. I'm not going to cover that up though. Let's put that over in the other pile and grab another piece to brayer off on. And a little hunk of deli. I still didn't see if Paula answered me, if Paula answered me or not. I was missing the chat after I asked you about that Twitter message, Paula. Yeah, I have a jelly print. If somebody's asking about jelly videos, I've got a jelly print playlist on my channel from my early printing days when I was going bonkers, doing it every spare hour I had. A lot of my prints, Sarah, never get used because it's just too many. When I do something like this, I generate so many. Some of them I make those cards out that I demonstrated earlier. The ones that'll get used the most now are the ones I do on deli because I can collage with those pretty easily. But I'm on a watercolor kick now, so I don't really use the jelly plate much. Hello, lover. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys can see this like I see it in person. Hang on, let me grab a piece of something I can pick that up with. Hold on. Here's a piece of watercolor paper. Because it's heavy now that it's wetter. I don't know if you can see that shine. You can a little bit. But that is hubba good. And there is a shadow of the pictographs in there because of how they cleaned the holes out. Look at that shine on that puppy. And I can see some of the, let me hold it up here closer. I can see a lot of the silver bits in it that it picked up when it cleaned the plate. See if it's shining too much, if you can see them or not. There you go. There's some little sketchy lines of oh, that's going to end up in a collage. I can promise you that. That is really cool. What the hell did I do? I used the teal zircon, the African jade, and the PBO green blue. And all the other crusty bits that piled up. So you'll never duplicate it. But I don't think I've ever seen something that consistently shining across the page like that. I mean, the silver and the gold are really shiny. Maybe because it's blue, it's just different. But hello, lover. Okay, let me put you in the safe pile. You're going to be showing up in a collage in the near future, rather. What time we got? 3:55. 5 minutes. Okay, now what do I want to do with you? I'm going to put a little another little something over that. But what color? They are really yummy. Really yummy. This, because you can even see very light the rose gold mermaid tails in the background of this one. That's when I pulled this one. We were doing that yesterday. A little silver pop would show up on that. Pretty cool. So many options. So little time. What are we going to do? No, I don't have time to even look for that envelope punch board for 5 minutes, Jane, that I have. But I've got videos in my channel from, I'd look back 2 or 3 years and look for envelope punch board where I show myself making those cards. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just do something simple. I got pictographs on top here. Well, let's go with a little silver. This is a True Metal by Color Art called Silver. This one's called Cashmere. It's like a rosy gold kind of color. And let's do this over top of here. And where's the mermaid tails? You can really barely see them. But let's go that way to kind of make them line up. Oh, they do have a 12 by 12 now, Debbie? I know they had a 12 by 14. I haven't since I got out of doing the jelly prints. I used to have every single plate. The minis, the big, the 12 by 14, the 8 by 10, the round one, the couple sets of the minis, 5 by 7. It's ridiculous. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, hello, lover. See how that kind of pushes those designs in the background? So you got the mermaid tails on there first that are very fine. Then Joan's zig, what was that called? Zig stencil, whatever that was. Tribal zigs, and I don't remember. And then the silver pictograph. So let me clean this up. Try to get the silver out of these holes. Very little came out. This dries pretty fast. And let's pick it up. I don't know. Let's pick it up on this. I don't know how that's going to work, but we are about to find out. So while I wrap up, yeah, I took my 12 by 14. I had 2 of them. I only got the second one because the first one I cannibalized to make an 8.5 by 11 because I didn't like the prints, and for some things I used them for to have that white border around them, because you use an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and the plate's 8 by 10. So you had a border around it. So I cut it up to have an 8.5 by 11. So then I had to buy another 12 by 14 because that's the way mine works. So I'm going to wrap up here talking about the sale. I appreciate everybody's support, and I wanted to really try to give Joan a good launch of her new line of stencils with iStencils. Well, you can't really see that, of course. What a way to end up. It just made it kind of shimmery. You can't really see the pictographs. Let me get out my little cheat sheets here. So anyway, I just wanted to congratulate Joan and try to help her get her line kicked off here, streaming every day for the sale. So the sale, it runs through tonight at midnight, which is September 16th, midnight Eastern time zone. This is the information for the sale. The code is JOAN25. That gets you 25% off the entire iStencils site, which is over 3,800 designs. If you spend $50, you get this free stencil of mine here as a bonus. And if you're in the US, you get free shipping. That's always the case on iStencils, not even during a sale. You always get free shipping over $50. International shipping is very reasonable, by the way. She ships worldwide. And then if you spend $75, you get a $10 gift certificate toward a future purchase. Right? And there's also a known issue with PayPal this weekend. The developers on both sides have been working on it. It's very random, which is making it harder to solve. If you try to check out with PayPal and you're unsuccessful, some it works for, some it doesn't. If it doesn't work for you and you either don't want to use a credit card or you don't have a credit card, Sherry wants you to email her at this address, mail@istencils.com. email her, either copy and paste your shopping cart into the email or type a list that says JS007 for Joan Smithy's 007 stencil, whatever the code number is in the stencil. Send her a list, mention the coupon code JOAN25, do it by midnight tonight. So that when she gets back in the office, she will invoice everybody through PayPal that's emailed her, so you will not miss the sale. And Tamara, you know what I mentioned to you before, that still stands. So you will not miss the sale. If you can't check out through PayPal, if you do this, you're not going to miss the sale. And this is a really, Sherry's very generous. Her customer service is top notch. And some of you know that with different issues you've emailed her about over the years. But she's awesome. And so Tamara, you be sure to email her and mention that I talked to her about that, and include the coupon code and your list. So she's awesome. She feels really bad that this happened for the sale with as many orders as she knows is going to come in because of doing this. And but the workaround is to email her, and she will do it manually starting Monday morning after the sale ends. So she's got everything together. Don't worry about missing out on a stencil. They're going to run out of stock. That will never happen because they cut every order to order. They don't cut a stencil until you order it. And then they cut it, pack, and ship your order. They don't have inventory on shelves sitting around that they will run out. They will never run out of it. So I want to thank everybody for hanging in with me for 4 days in a row. Woo! But it's been fun. So Xandra, Scraps to Beauty on YouTube is coming on at 7:30 Eastern tonight. And put your link in there, Z. Thanks, CC. Yeah, thanks to the mods for helping me out, throwing links and codes and all that stuff all weekend. I appreciate you guys. She really is great, Jean. So I'm going to try to make it back to Z Scream tonight. Her stream tonight. We have a lot of stuff we got to get done in the meantime. Just looking at this. Hello, yummy. Put that in CB's pile. Woo. So I'll catch you probably next weekend. You're welcome, Jane or Joan. I'll keep interchanging your names. Joan Smithies, you are more than welcome. I think you're going to do very well. And hey, there's Janice. So I appreciate you guys hanging in with me, and I'll catch you later. See you on the flip side. Now I got to figure out how to stop my stream. I can't stop streaming. Appreciate you guys.